Yo, welcome back to Man Simulation. We're up to week 11 in the NFL. Can you believe it? And I'm being unprofessional. And hopefully this week, no technical difficulties. We'll get through the whole game, unlike last week where we only got through half of it. And Madden right now has correctly got the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row correct, and then 7-4. And this week for week 11, we are doing as you can see, Dallas Cowboys at the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, we're doing Chiefs one more time. Well, I mean, come on. Kansas City, they're on a roll. They're on a 2-game win streak. They are 6-4, and I think they are finally back on top of the AFC West, taking on the NFC East leading Dallas Cowboys, who are 7-2. So this should be a thriller, and this will definitely put man to the test. So I'll sit back, relax, talk a little bit, some football, what has happened the last week in the NFL, and what's coming up, I guess. Ugh. Freaking all dried out doing this. Well, I shouldn't say bright and early in the morning. Should have got up a little earlier, but
level in this place was just about off the charts. They're set for football as the Chiefs get to do battle with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, last week more or less technical difficulties, just didn't have enough space on my computer while recording. But that's what happens when you save every video. So I had to go back, delete some stuff, and boom, here we are. We should be good for the next few weeks. And hopefully I don't miss a week, especially with my home being renovated. It kind of helps when they're having some issues too. But more will be revealed later, especially on my podcast. Everyone should tune in to listen to. Just hear me talk about what's on my mind and what's going on. But Dak's stats from a year prior aren't so good because he missed most of the season. And you wonder how the Cowboys could have been last year under first year head coach for the Cowboys, I should say. I mean, I'm talking about Mike McCarthy. Because last year, the Cowboys, they stunk. Maybe they did that intentionally to stink it up. Oh. And, well, last year, the NFC East in general stunk. Okay? It was going to the point of, okay, which team is going to actually finish above 500, if that, and win the East. And the East is always, and lately, it's been no, you win, no, you win, no, you win it, no, you win it. So let's take a look at that real quick. Because the NFC East is one of those divisions where you don't really have the same division winner year in, year out. I mean, like, okay, AFC East, it's always been New England for the last 20 years. Now Buffalo has taken over. And a few other teams have won it here and there. Well, the Jets. Did the Jets win it? Or was it just Miami? I think it was just Miami. Jets snuck in there as no, Dak threw an interception early. Well, let's take a look at this. NFC East. Take a look at the division. And like the NFC North. Well, ever since that division was created, the Detroit Lions have never won a division title. They still haven't won a division title since the early 90s. But it's been mainly the Packers. The Packers have dominated the NFC North for years. Okay. And the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears have snuck in there, here and there, winning division titles. Lions have been close relatively within the last 10 years. The Lions have made the playoffs 3 times in the last 10 years, but only finished second. And 2014, they had an opportunity to be the second seed and get that second bye. But they lost to Green Bay in the last week of the season, and they finished 5th. Went to Dallas, got screwed by the refs, and the rest is history. And speaking of the Lions, we'll get to them in a little bit, because the thing I hate most about the NFL happened yet again this past week. So, okay, NFC East standings.
Their number one goal was to get him to third down and long situations, not
okay.
manageable, meaning 3rd and 4 or less, but 3rd and 7 or more.
Did I see 98 the Arizona Cardinals won the East? No, that's hilarious. Okay, when they got realignment. Why is this? Oh no, that's teams that want wild card. Man, I was looking at the wrong thing then. Let's see, when's the last time the Cardinals won the East? That was back in actually that was back in 75. It was 98 when they were a wild card team. Oh, just overthrew his target. Jeez, Mahomes. So, 2002 when the realignment, you had Eagles dominate because of Andy Reid. Then the Giants, Eagles, them boys in 07 and 09. Giants in 08. Let's see how this goes. Oh, you got it. But okay, so you had let's start from last year. You had Washington, you had Philadelphia, Dallas. So the last 3 years you had 3 different division champions. Okay, 2017 Eagles, 2016 Cowboys, 2015 the Washington. So same 3 teams within the last 6 years have won it. It's been that long since the Giants have won the division? Wow. And then Cowboys in 2014. Philly in 2013. Washington in 2012. Giants haven't won the division since 2011. It's been 10 years. So, last time they had back-to-back division champions was when? It was 2004, 2003, and 2002. So there hasn't been back-to-back NFC East divisional champions since the Eagles did that back when the divisions were realigned. Sheesh. And when the divisions were realigned, it felt like the East was just so dominant to start with. But now it has lackluster. Excuse me. Parsons, the rookie out of Penn State, in to drop him for the sack. Well, there's still time to rectify this situation. Okay, let's take a look at the AFC West then for a minute. See how. But that close to the goal line, it still definitely hurts. How that's been since 2002, because just out of the blue, because like Kansas City has risen to the top since Andy Reid has got there. Prior to that, they have been lackluster. They've made the playoffs, but haven't won anything. I think they've won a playoff game until Andy Reid got there for a very long time. But just off the top of my head, since 2002, I mean, I think the Broncos have won a handful of AFC West division titles. Chargers here and there, and I think the Raiders only once. That was his third and goal at the 12. Oh, yeah, let's slide. So it looks like they're going to have to settle for a field goal.
Well, partner, nothing comes open here, so he decides to escape out of there, and he doesn't pick up a first down, but he does gain additional yardage to set up a possible field goal attempt if they decide to go that route.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, let's find this. No, I don't want to play a berth or division championships since 2002. Okay, so we're gonna start from, like I said, last year moving forward. Yet Kansas City has won the division. Oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a row. Something an NFC East has never seen happen. Then you had Denver since 2015, 14, 13, 12, 11. So was it? That's another 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Denver won it 5 years in a row. And then you had Kansas City back in 2010. So in the last 10 years, you had only 2 teams winning the division. And then you tack on the Kansas City Chiefs one more time in 2010. That's 11-year span, only 2 teams. Then the Chargers, when they're back in San Diego. 4 years in a row there. 09, 08, 07, 06. 2005, you had Denver. 2004, Chargers. 2003, Chiefs. 2002, Oakland. 2001, Oakland. Oh, they don't have a breakup here. And I mean, Seattle won the division back in '99 when they were still in the AFC. And so, so division was realigned in 2002. You had 4 straight years: Oakland, Kansas City, San Diego, Denver. 4 straight different champions in the West. And then the Chargers, they took the baton. And then when they started faltering, it was been Kansas City won for 1 year. Then it's been all Denver and all Kansas City.
Second and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook,
wow.
Play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back.
It's interesting sometimes to go look back at those division winners, because like I said, like Green Bay, they've won. They won division 02, 03, 04. Then they stunk in 05. Then they stunk in 06. They got a little better because they hired that guy right there, big old Mike. And then they won division 07. Then they stunk because they lost Favre and their defense. In 07, 08 wild card. 08 they were wild card. 09 wild card. 2010 they were wild card. But then 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 4 straight years. 11, 12, 13, 14, NFC North champions. They should have won in 2015, but you know, we ain't gonna talk about that. Then they won again in 2016, but then 2017 they sucked, 2018 they sucked, but then 2019 and 2020 they won them again. I don't know. Let's see. And the same thing with the, well, no, NFC South. I don't know if it was like there was a while there where the worst became the first. But then I know Carolina won like 5 or 6 NFC South championships, divisional titles, and then the Falcons, I think the same thing after that. Well, maybe they only won the 1. The Saints won a couple, obviously, and who's the 4th team? It's they're all there. Well, Tampa Bay. No, Tampa Bay has won. No, Tampa Bay didn't win last year. Tampa Bay only won in like 2002, and they haven't won a division title since. They still haven't won a division title because they haven't made the playoffs since 2007, prior to last year.
Throwing now is Mahomes. Well, Mahomes can't get
And then
away, and down he goes.
the NFC West.
Able to get in there for his
It's been like the Rams did early, and then was Seattle. Arizona snuck in there a couple times, winning the division, but then it's been mainly Seattle. San Francisco snuck in there, and then the Rams a few years back, and then back to Seattle. And like on the AFC side, oh, okay, yeah. Can't say his goal. Like, oh, that's intercepted, but since he was running back to the ball, it's confusing. But that's enough for division talk. Let's let's see. Last week's action, there's okay. I'll talk about this here right now since it's on my mind. Yet again, I kept thinking it was like 5 years in a row. It's actually only been 4 years in a row. Let's get this. We saw yet again another tie happen in the NFL. And I just laugh every time someone says, "Oh, that doesn't happen that often." Bull crap. It happens more often than you think. Because we've had a tie in the NFL since we had two ties in 2018. To start the season and the second week of the season, okay? Then we had 2019 and 2020, and now it's 2021. So that's 4 years in a row, 18, 19, 20, 21, that there has been a tie in the NFL. And this is Detroit's third tie. Sheesh. And Pittsburgh's fourth. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm not a big fan of ties in the NFL. Okay. So it was between Detroit at Pittsburgh, and I was watching the end of that game, and it's like nobody wants to win this. It seems like nobody. It was sloppy, it was cold, and it was ugly. And Pittsburgh was playing with backups. Detroit had their full strength, if you want to call it that. And Pittsburgh had a chance to. They were moving the ball. Time's running short, and they fumbled it with like 10 seconds left, and Detroit recovered, and they're just trapped in the middle of the field, and so there's really nothing they could do. So, like I said before, I'm not a big fan of ties. I want a winner. I mean, the NHL, they have winners now. They don't have no more ties in the NHL since 2004, 2005, whenever the last time they had a lockout. Okay, they eliminate ties, and they now have they still have an overtime period, but they go to a shootout. And it's like, what is the perfect way to solve overtime? Because overtime in the NFL is like, and there's been a handful of overtime games so far this year, and the season's halfway over. And apparently, yeah, again, Najee Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers, like, I didn't know a game could end in a tie. It's like, dude, have you not been paying attention to the NFL the last 4 years, if not the last 10 years? Because within the last 10 years, going back to 2012, I think we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So within the last 9 years, if we include this year, and so within the last 10 years, we have 10 tied games. Not one every year. We had a couple where there's 2, but from 2012 to 2021, there's been 10 tied games. Prior to that, let's see, what is that? In 2012, the leagues instituted a modified sudden death overtime system. I'm not sure, but okay, so overtime was introduced in 1974. Okay, so when the league started from 1920 to 1973, ties were like that. You could have ties easily. But in 74, they introduced overtime. And from 74 to 2011, there we go, that does have a number there. There was only 17 tied games in that time span. And you know how many years that is? I don't want to do math. Math hurts. Okay, let's get the old 2011 minus 1974. That's 37 years. In a 37-year span, you only had 17 tied games. I'm fine with that. That's almost one every other year. Maybe I'm not fine with that. But, well, let's see more spaced out. But still, then within the last 10 years, you've had 10 tied games.
Here's Prescott. And he's got Ezekiel Elliott. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
And
10 yards there to start the drive and just
where am I going with this? I hate tied games. So, I mean, within the last 10 years, there's been 10 games that have ended in a tie. And every time someone is like, when there's brought up, there was a tie, it's like, oh, that doesn't happen often much. And I keep saying, bullsh. It happens more often than you think, at least almost once a season lately. And like I said before, what is the way to get rid of ties? Prevent games from ending in ties. And I understand, oh, it's just part of the game. It's like, well, I want a winner. Obviously, once we get to postseason, we won't have a tie. We have continuous overtime. And there's only a handful of times I've seen a game go into double overtime. And I don't know why the NFL, I think that started in 2017, they shortened overtime to 10 minutes. It's like, that's not going to help. Because that's the thing. Especially the ties that have happened since. If there was 5 more minutes, I guarantee there would have been a winner. And most of these games that go into overtime, the team that gets the ball first, they take an 8-minute drive. And if you're only playing 10 minutes, that only leaves you 2 minutes left. If they miss the field goal or don't get the touchdown, then the other team only has like a minute and a half to rebuttal. And just overtime in general in the NFL has had so much criticism. It's like, well, go to the college rules. Well, the NCAA just changed their overtime rules to, well, you both get the ball. You both get an opportunity to score. Okay, in college. You start at your opponent's 35 on the first 2 go around. Okay, first overtime, you start at 35. And offense, defense, both sides. If the game's still tied up first overtime, you do the same thing again. If it gets to the third overtime now, I think it's starting the third overtime in college football, ball's placed at the 2-yard line, and you do 2-point conversions. more or less. And you alternate until someone wins. It's basically that's how it's 2-point conversion now. And a few weeks ago, Penn State and Illinois went to 9 overtimes because it's one and done. And once they got to the third overtime, you get one shot. And like, how is that supposed to speed up the game? And they just proved why that is a faulty concept. It's because it's one and done. They had like five straight nothings. I think it was. I don't know what word I'm trying to think of. I know I'm trying to think of where it was incomplete, stop. And then finally on the ninth go around, Illinois won. Oh, Dallas. So, okay, not so bad. So, I mean, obviously we can't just keep playing to get a winner in the NFL, and only in the playoffs. I still think we should go back to... I don't even mind the 10 minutes. If you have 10 minutes, overtime, fine. I mean, the NBA only plays 5-minute overtime, but they play till there's a winner. NHL, they play 3-on-3 now. Baseball, they decided to put a man on second base to start extra innings. It's just that the NFL needs... One tie is too many. And like I've talked about, like, let's have a kickers duel. But I've also suggested let's have non-kickers kick it, and it just be like a simple extra point. And like, can you imagine if it came down to non-kickers kicking field goals? No pressure, ball's on a tee or someone's holding it, and they line up and kick. It's like a shootout. But maybe we'll do kickers. And I still say no pressure, but you just keep moving it back 5 yards. But I mean, I can understand. Like, okay, we get the ball back we move it back a yard, 5 yards, and they're both missing. Then what? Sooner or later, someone's gonna make it. But you're hoping it doesn't get that far. It's a failsafe. Just like the NFL tiebreakers procedure. They have a 11, 12-step tie-breaking procedure that goes by stats. And it is very hard to statistically tie in every single category. Their fail-safe at the very end is coin flip. Oh, we'll just do a coin flip. And I would love to see that happen. I would love to see... okay, wow, this is interesting. For the, the final wild card spot, 7th seed, these two teams, let's say, Carolina and Minnesota, but they play each other. They already play each other. Who doesn't Carolina? Let's say, Carolina and Seattle. They are statistically exactly have the same stats. Wow. Well, we'll flip a coin. Oh, congratulations, Seattle. You're going to the playoffs. Sorry, Carolina. Better luck next year. You know, could you imagine that? It's like you missed the playoffs because of a coin flip. That'd be hilarious. Oh. So what we got? We got Dallas is up by a point. They got a touchdown. Kansas City has settled for 2 field goals. I mean, last week, just like Madden suggested, Kansas City's offense was just on fire and destroying Oakland, the team formerly known as Oakland. The Las Vegas Raiders. because let's just take a quick look again. Madden said that Kansas City would win 52-17. Final score 41-14. So not too far off. And this is coming after Green Bay's defense held Kansas City at home at Arrowhead to only 13 points. And Dallas is about on the same page as Green Bay. On offense maybe a little better, but defense about the same. So this is one reason why I picked this game, is that we saw how Kansas City bounced back from their win against Green Bay, only getting 13 points. But that's also a divisional foe, and they were on the road, so we'll see. We'll see if Dallas can put it to the test and try to keep pace with the Packers. Because at the moment, they both, Dallas and Green Bay both have 2 losses. So we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll get to standings in a little bit, because I think they said there's 12 teams in the AFC with 500 or better records, and that's just wow. While on the flip side, the NFC only has 6, I think, 5 or 6 that are 500 or better. And then you're going to be picky with the 6 and 7 seeds. Like, well, they're 5. Well, no, that. I mean, the days of teams finishing at 500 are over. You either have a winning record or a losing record. And I mean, okay, you have Pittsburgh and Detroit. They both have a tie now. If they finish 8-1, okay, is that a winning record or a losing record? It's 50-50. And that's another thing. Okay, so since 74, Detroit has had 3 ties, and I think Pittsburgh has 4. And Pittsburgh has had at least 3 since 98, I think. But I ain't here to talk about ties anymore. We'll finish watching this drive, see how Kansas City does, and then we'll look at standings in the NFL like we usually do. Once we get to the second quarter, that usually takes up most of that. So Kansas City's moving the ball relatively easily. Oh, a fumble. I don't know if that was a completed pass.
This drive didn't end well, but if they can keep stringing these together, they'll like what they're doing. That was an 8-play drive before it ended in a fumble. So
wow, I don't know about that. I don't know how you're going to overturn it, though.
Just got to take care of the ball at the end.
I mean, if this was real life, I'm sure they would look into if he caught the ball first, if he had possession, if he made a football move. But I don't think they're going to do that here. Man's a little trickier. Yeah, so there you go. Just like that, turnover. Okay, let's get the standings. Oh, Zeke. Oh, okay. I was going to say, it looked like Zeke was going to be gone.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
That's a really good gain right there.
Let's see.
5 yards, halfway to a first down.
Sources say the Jets will start Flacco. Wilson's not ready. What about Mike White?
Because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
Any other big news I missed out? Oh, and just like that, Kansas City gets the ball right back. Oh, yeah, the return of Cam Newton. That was interesting. And Arizona does get their butts handed to them, but yet they do not have DeAndre Hopkins. They don't have Kyle Murray. They had to rely on Colt McCoy and company. and it's catching up. And they slip up some more. The Rams are going to take over. Oh, I'm trying to remember if that broke when I was recording last time or not. But anyways, now the Rams, they got Odell Beckham Jr. He decided to sign with them. And they traded for Von Miller. And they're all in, and then they end up losing. They got shellacked by the Niners. That's the Ravens wave Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell has never been the same since he sat out that season. Oh yeah, Big Ben. Big Ben, he caught COVID over the weekend, so that's why he couldn't play for the Steelers. And that's why Mason Rudolph had a start for them, and that's why they kind of tied.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for
him. And so forth. Okay, yeah. Refs played a huge part in the Seahawks loss. Yeah, whatever. Let's see that real quick. He said there were 3 plays. Does he say the 3 plays? Well, I know one of them was that interception by Kevin King. And it was, you look at the referee originally said incomplete, but then no touchback, and it was reviewed and they held it up. Okay, on Seattle's opening drive, officials initially, spotted and gave him the first down, but then they scrambled and moved it back, and it was 4th and 1. The hold that was called on near the end of the first half, whatever. Okay, so anyways, let's get the standings. Come on.
Butker's kick here is good. And they jump back in front here. It's 9-7.
So, see, look, Dallas's defense has held Kansas City out of the end zone and settled for 3 field goals. So, very similar to what Green Bay did. A couple weeks back. I was going to simulate that game, but it just didn't feel like Kansas City was at that height anymore. And Green Bay without Jordan Love, I was afraid that it might have been a slaughter fest anyways. But I'll tell you this, I guarantee you next week we are doing the LA Rams at Green Bay. A lot is on the line in that game. Big hype game. Because the Rams, they are on their bye this week, and then the Packers will be on their bye the following week. Not next week, the following week. And hopefully I'll still be able to simulate next week and be on and so forth. I'll try and find a way to sneak it in there, especially during Thanksgiving and my home renovation going on, which more will be revealed on my podcast. Okay, so Dallas takes over on that kickoff at the 25. They're down by 2.
He'll hand it off to Elliott to begin the drive.
Sheesh. So here, let's look at the standings in the AFC to start with. And of course, we go in the East. And the Buffalo Bills are still on top at 6-3. But nipping at their coattails are the New England Patriots. So can they survive without Tom Brady? Well, it looks like they are at the moment, who are 6-4. They're just a half game back from Buffalo. Buffalo has lost too many games that they shouldn't have. But then you have Miami at 3-7 and the New York Jets at 2-7. You know, shocker there, you know what I mean? It's a 2-team race right now in the AFC East. While the other 2 teams are trying to figure out who wants to finish the worst. Then we move on to the AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens. They got shellacked by the Dolphins last week. And it's like, wow. But they still have first place in the North, thanks in part to Detroit, who tied the Steelers. The Steelers are now 5-3-1. Now I gotta throw an N1 in there when I do my standings. Jeez. Cincinnati 5-4, and Cleveland, who seem to be on everybody's pedestal to win the AFC, is a measly 5-5 with 11. No, there's not 11. Okay, they've played 10 games. They have 7 games to go. So the best they could do is they would have to go on a 7-game win streak and go 12-5. Yeah, that sounds about right. So it doesn't look good, but I mean they don't have a losing record. Okay, 5-5. I mean every team in the AFC North is doing just fine. No one has a losing record. But speaking of losing records, AFC South, you have the team. You have the Tennessee Titans, 8-2. And I had high hopes. I had them going 15-2. Can they win seven more? I don't know. I have to look at their schedule. But hey, not too far behind. In all honesty, Indianapolis 5-5. So they're nibbling at a playoff spot. Plus, I don't know how many more times they play Tennessee, but Tennessee loses a few more. Indianapolis keeps on winning. Maybe? I don't know. They have a 3-game lead, and it's going to be hard to tell. Jacksonville 2-7, and after winning their first game of the year, Houston, they have lost 8 straight. The Texans are 1-8 and ugly. And then we have, outside the AFC North, the AFC West also has no team with a losing record. You have Kansas City back on top for the first time in a long time. And they're on a 3-game win streak, too, is the thing. Most that they've been all year. They were 3-4 then. Woo, first down and more. 3-4. Then you had the LA Chargers. They're 5-4. The Las Vegas. They're 5-4. And Denver 5-5. And boy, did they shoot themselves in the foot last week, the Broncos. Especially Teddy Bridgewater, who decided not to make a play and just stand there and was like, oh, okay. Because there was a Melvin Gordon. He had a hand. He was running the ball, fumbles it. Eagles recover, and they're returning the ball, and you could see Tay Bridgewater, 2 gloves. Tay 2 gloves. As the Eagle player is running past him, he just stopped. He could have made a play, but he could have got hurt. But that's the criticism you're going to get. Now we flip over to the NFC side, and we start, of course, in the East, and we have them boys in first place at 7-2. And then it's kind of crappy after that. Not as bad as, say, the AFC South. But you have Philly 4-6, Washington 3-6, New York 3-6. Then you got the NFC North. You have my Packers, Green Bay at 8-2, Minnesota actually not too far behind, and they have a big. Oh, he's off to the races and he's gone. Kansas City increases their lead. Question is, well, I don't know. I was thinking about maybe go for 2, go up by 10. Because even if you don't get the 2-point conversion, you're up by 8. And if they get a touchdown, they go for 2 and you can stop them, so forth. That's my opinion. But who knows? Anyways, you got Green Bay. They're at 8-2 on top of the North, followed by Minnesota 4-5. And big divisional showdown coming up this week between those two teams in Minnesota. And then you got Chicago 3-6, and Detroit big old goose egg, 8-1. Because you can't go 0-17 if you have a tie. Huh? They are thinking. And then NFC South. This is very competitive too right now. Especially with Tampa Bay, they lost to Washington over the weekend, which is a huge shocker. If and only if they were one, if only that happened in the playoffs last year, then we wouldn't have to worry about Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning, Tampa Bay and winning the Super Bowl. Well, I got no issues with Tampa Bay winning the Super Bowl. The franchise themselves. It's just who is on their team. I don't care for. And that's usually 9 times out of 10. I don't care for who's on the team. I don't mind the franchise itself winning. But they're 6-3. They're in first place in the division. But New Orleans is right there at 5-4. Carolina 5-5, and even Atlanta at 4-5. NFC South is right there, nice and close. Anything could happen any given week. And then out west, in the NFC West, you have Arizona. They're still in first place at 8-2. Even though they just got shellackled by the Panthers. I mean, once they get healthy, maybe they can get back to where they were. But then you have the LA Rams. They took a licking on Monday Night Football against their divisional foe, the Niners. But they're 7-3. San Francisco 4-5, and Seattle 3-6. So yeah. And that was the thing. That was the thing between the Packers and Seahawks this past week. The first time in Russell Wilson's career, he was shut out. And that's saying something, right? Out of, what was it, 150 starts, I think they said? Was it 150 starts? Yeah, it was 150 wins. There's no way. But it's the first time in Russell Wilson's career that he got shut out as a starting quarterback, and the first time the Seahawks were shut out since 2002? I would have to look up.
Found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Oh man, I never turned that down. Oh well. I knew there was something else, but the game seems going. We're moving right along. I usually change the play clock down to 15 seconds to try to keep it going, but it's only at 20 seconds to speed up. But not like it's a big deal. We're moving right along. If we have a good pace game, I mean, this is kind of balanced. The game moves along relatively quick. But unlike last week where it was a blowout, it just lags. It just drags out. So, if the playoffs were held today, this is what it would look like. In the AFC, you would have the Tennessee Titans at 8-2, the number 1 seed, followed by Buffalo, Baltimore, and Kansas City would be your 3 divisional winners playing on Wild Card Weekend, taking on Pittsburgh, New England, and the LA Chargers. While Las Vegas and Cincinnati with winning records would have to sit out, and while Indianapolis, Cleveland, and Denver at 500 would have to sit out. But 500 records, you can save that for the NBA. Also, looks like Dallas has settled for a field goal attempt. That would be a 54-yarder. This ain't gonna be easy. Here is the snap. The place the kick is up, and it is well short.
And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is.
And then on the flip side, on the NFC side, you have Green Bay with the #1 seed. Yeah, but home field advantage fees. What? Nothing. I'll take the bye. 16 for 18. And then you have Arizona, Dallas, and Tampa Bay rounding out the division winners. While the Rams, LA Rams, New Orleans, and Carolina would get you the wildcard spots. And Carolina 5-5. They're the only 500 team right now in the NFC. After that, 8 through 16 below 500. You have 1, 2, 3 teams at 4 and 5. So yeah. I see they're gonna have at least one more play before 2-man warning. So I mean, there's a lot of competition, a lot of good teams in the AFC above 500. They're just beating up on the teams that are below 500. The 5 teams, 1, 2, 3, no, the 4 teams that they're just beating them all up. While the NFC, it's like, well, the top teams, they're winning everything, while the lower teams are just beating each other up and beating up on Detroit. Oh, that should take us to the 2-man warning. And let's see, I think Kansas City gets the ball in the second half. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving. Oh, they do get the ball off before 2-man warning. Oh, those 5 seconds do make a difference, man. I hate myself, but it is what it is. Oh. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando. Joey Bosa and Jerry Terrell are placed on COVID protocol for the Chargers. Mahomes firing complete, and he's going to get this down near the 30. Oh, we'll talk some more news after halftime. Oh man. That's right. In the Packers-Seahawks game. Rashawn Gary. Ooh, he took a nasty. Got his arm wedged between, I think it was 2 defenders. And got, was it his left or right arm? Doesn't really matter which arm it was, but it got bent backwards and it was. Ow. The only replay they showed of it, you could see his arm getting there and getting bent back, and it's like, oh, we're not going to show the replay because it might be a little too graphic. But hey, here's Joe Theismann. And the joke there is that, what, 12 times? I think it was more than that. I mean, I wasn't alive when Joe Theismann got his leg broken on Monday Night Football, but they showed the replay over and over and over and over and over again, and the bone breaking through. Man, can you imagine if Kansas City just starts going on a tear? I know I'm getting off topic, but I mean, over the years when it comes to injuries, it's like, well, what is too graphic? And like, in all honesty, they shouldn't. They shouldn't show if it's if a bone is breaking and piercing through the skin. Yeah, I don't think you should show replay of it. If you want to see it, you gotta look for it, because I know there's plenty of times where you can do that. But there's plenty of times like, I don't want to see that, and like, here we go. And I mean, it's just not really appropriate to show the injury over and over again. But then it's like, well, he's laying on the ground, and it's like, it's helmet to helmet, and it's like he just collapses. Like, that's just as bad. I don't want to see someone get hit in the head and just flop over. Stop showing that. It's like, well, at this angle, at this time, you can see when he made impact, he lost consciousness.
Now after the touchdown,
like, okay.
Butker on to kick it away.
Okay, so them boys have 58 seconds to try and get something done. Because Kansas State's just got lived it up a little bit. Ooh. I'm just thinking. There we go. And they take. Man, don't get me started on timeouts. They didn't really need to call a timeout. They could have hurried up, boom. But yet, man, hurry up. It's like, cha cha cha. Now I'm just thinking to myself, what should I do for lunch? Because once this is over, it's going to be my lunchtime. And food talk is always fun to talk about, right? Talking about food, what to eat. It's like, no, and here comes another timeout. So we wasted 2 timeouts right away. Sure, you have 50 seconds, but then you have 1 timeout left, and you only moved the ball like 15 yards. But yeah, no one cares what someone else is going to eat. But once they start talking about food, you get hungry, and then you got to figure out, well, what should I eat? Oh, look at that. Now they got to hurry up. But like yesterday, I bought some frozen shrimp scampi. That was pretty good. But it's just trying to figure out how to cook it is not how to cook it, debating on which method to cook it. I should really try to saute it in a pan. Well, look how much time is being wasted. Well, it's not being wasted right now because it's paused and they're showing replay and over, which we don't really need to see. But I end up baking it in the oven, so some of that butter got burnt. They wouldn't have time to huddle. They would hurry up. They wasted so much time. I bet you they'll call another timeout. No, okay. But I made some fettuccine noodles, add some Alfredo, some Parmesan, mixed that with the shrimp. That was yummy. So I gotta figure out what I'm going to do today. I know on game day, this year I've been making some hot wings, eating that for pregame. That's yummy. And there's the final timeout with 16 seconds left. If Madden had a better hurry up simulation, hurry up situation for the computer, there'd be a lot more time left. But what? So your game can't say 12 seconds left and 3 timeouts. And the thing is, Kansas State's going to use all 3 timeouts. They're going to waste all 12 seconds. Man, you have no idea what you're doing there. Okay?
Any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
I know them boys are only down by two touchdowns. Yeah, Mike McCarthy. I don't know. Let's just get to halftime. Yeah. See those 5 seconds? Having the play clock go from 20 seconds after they break the huddle to 15 makes a lot. So this is going to be a longer video by the looks of it. Something I don't need to happen. Just take a knee and go to half. That's something they would do in real life, but not in Madden. because they don't have man logic. Looks like they'll just run the ball though.
And with Mahomes under center, anything's possible. Watch out for the deep ball. And defensively, they're just
oh, good. So, okay. Halftime, I'll be right back. Stretch those legs, use the bathroom, and all that fun jazz.
So we've come upon halftime here in Arrowhead with the Chiefs on top as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports halftime report. Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome, everyone, to this abridged version of the EA Sports halftime report. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far, and certainly plenty to look forward to, as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. For the start of the third quarter, the Chiefs have the lead and set to receive the football. Takes it at the 7. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And the Chiefs ready to go on offense to begin quarter number 3. And they've got
okay, so this looks like it's missed the second half kickoff. Not too shabby. So Kansas City gets the ball back right away because Cowboys got the ball first in the start of the game and they threw an interception. Okay, you gotta do this too real quick.
The Chiefs up first and 10 at their own 28-yard line. He'll hand this to Williams to start things out. Williams loses the football.
Wow, just like that, turn events, Cowboys get the boys get the ball.
Turning point here in the third quarter as that swings the door back open just a bit.
Yeah, they're still down 2 scores, but I do think we're at that point in the game where you're going to reach for the football whenever possible. You're going to hear the coaches scream from the sidelines, tackle him, second guy in, tackle the ball.
Oh, now they're reviewing it.
They're going to take a look at this just to make sure
Jeez.
The question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the
I don't have time for this. Let's see. We don't need to watch replay over and over. Let's just get to it. It says 2nd and 7 now, so they're overturning it.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble.
See, them boys can't get that lucky.
The fumble on first down. Now here's second down. Now after the fumble recovery, it's Mahomes.
And just like that, they are on the attack. Yeah, I might be skipping some more of these replays just to speed up the game some. Yeah, no, we don't need to see that. What? I can't skip that? Whatever. Whatever I can't skip, I will skip.
This is a great spot for them to go into attack mode. Really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. He finds McKinnon complete. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46.
And we see another pitch.
Oh, let's see what else had happened over this past week in the NFL. I mean, like I said before, don't know if the number of COVID cases have gone up or down, really. I mean, obviously you had Aaron Rodgers came off COVID this past weekend, while Big Ben was put on COVID. And I haven't heard any big hoo-ha about Big Ben, if he was vaccinated, if he wasn't vaccinated, if so forth. But I mean, he tested positive on the weekend, therefore he was going to miss the game no matter what on Sunday. And if he's not vaccinated, he has to miss 10 days, and therefore he's going to miss next week's game. If they haven't, do they play next week? Oh, okay, let's see. Bye week for NFL Week 11. Only 2 teams have a freaking bye this weekend. It's Denver and Rams. God. Why they gotta be so crappy like that? You do. It's not like you're gonna have. Oh, we can't have. 4 or 6 teams have a bye. We need lots of football. So I mean, they have 2 byes this week. 2 teams on bye. It's like, put a few more teams on there. I mean, next Thursday is Thanksgiving. You're gonna have 6 teams playing on Thanksgiving. You still have some teams with byes this week, so they're literally gonna have be on a bye. Those 6 teams, because they won't play again until the following week, which will be the first week of December. I don't know. Well, I mean, some of those. Let's see if any of those teams play on Thursday night in week 14. This is week 11. Week 12 starts next on Thanksgiving.
And again, it's Mahomes.
Intercepted by Diggs. So this time, instead of a fumble, you know they got that turnover. So on Thanksgiving, oh boy, that's going to be a thriller. Chicago at Detroit. Then Las Vegas at Dallas, and then Buffalo at New Orleans. But and Thursday night, Dallas and New Orleans. So they'll have a full week to prepare. It's I don't know. We've seen this a lot actually, where the Thanksgiving Day games, the teams that play on Thanksgiving, out of the 6, 2 of them will play each other the following week on Thursday night. And then week 14 they'll return to action.
Let's get back to the huddle and make sure you're back. You spend time
Yeah,
with
so
your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25.
We'll get to my picks in a little bit once we get to the 4th quarter. But
That's Schultz. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher.
what else we got? What else we got going on? I'm trying to think what all happened. I mean, it was a little. Okay, so Odell Beckham Jr. Let's just talk about him for a little bit. Like I said, I don't remember. I don't think I recorded in time that he signed with a team. But it came down to the Green Bay Packers, it sounded like, and the LA Rams. And in all honesty, even when there was rumor, or when he got traded from New York to Cleveland, I mean, I don't know if Green Bay was in the talk then too. But when there's the whole talk about the whole trade for Odell, it's like, man, I don't want Odell Beckham, okay?
And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5.
And it's not because of his on-field talent. It's more of his off-the-field talent. And it's like, I don't need that attitude, that cancer, some like to say, in the locker room. I mean, the players could all get along and be, hunky-dory, be, fine and dandy friends, which is more common these days than it was back in the day. But it's what his daddy said something on Instagram. I don't know exactly that whole case, and calling out Baker Mayfield for not throwing to him and overthrowing him and this and that. It's like, we don't need that. And for the most part, well, besides Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers being a media whores, the Packers really haven't had that type of player on the team, and when they do, they're not there that long. As I remember back in the day, you had Mike McKenzie. He was holding out. He wanted to get paid or whatever. Then they traded him. Then you had Javon Walker. They got rid of him. Then you had Bennett a few years ago, who's full of crap, and just like don't need that type of stuff. And it's been few far in between for Green Bay having that cancer on the team. But I mean, like this offseason, you had Aaron Rodgers saying, maybe I won't play. Maybe I will play. I don't like who's in charge. And it's like, but I truly believe Aaron Rodgers is an attention whore. He loves having attention on him all the time, okay? Non-stop. And like, because I mean, just look at the draft this offseason. It was draft night, and all of a sudden, hey, Aaron Rodgers wants out. He doesn't want to come back to Green Bay. And it's like, when you're supposed to be focusing on the draft, here you go, and it's back on someone else.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. Here's Prescott.
Woo. Oh, look at that spin. I don't think enough players do the nice spin these days.
Going old reliable there to the slot on 3rd down.
And the slot position has become the bane of just about every defense's existence, because how do you cover? Do you go with a bigger guy to try and use size? Try and go with a quicker guy, and sometimes you even get out quick there. Very difficult to match up with that slot receiver. That's why they keep going back to him.
And he's had the hot hand. On 1st down.
Oh, he's rumbling bumbling. Yeah, sorry for the few distractions, but
First down run, call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground?
I mean, I think this is what people expected the Cowboys to be last year, but with Dak getting hurt and just playing under the pandemic, they just couldn't get anything going. And now you see the Cowboys, they are, 7-2 this year. They lost week 1, which they easily could have won. They easily could have beat Tampa Bay, and you saw Washington do that this past weekend. And Tampa Bay is not, they have weaknesses. Oh, there he is. You had CeeDee Lamb, but you threw it to him instead. Oh, boy.
And the Cowboys draw a bit closer. That's the score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
See, now, if Kansas City went for 2, boom, look where we would have been.
winds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination
But
of
anyways,
efficiency,
getting
yet
ticky
relaxed
tacky.
enough to get it done.
Now Zerline on to add the extra
But what?
point.
No. Dallas does have Dan Quinn as their defensive coordinator.
And the lead will shrink to 6.
So I mean, defensive minded guy, former head coach of the
And it's capped off for the
Falcons,
Cowboys
and
touchdown.
former defensive coordinator for the Seahawks. I mean, McCarthy had that 2010 with the Packers with Don Capers. Well, Don Capers turned that defense around in 2009 to begin with. And then in 2010, it got better, but then it went in a heartbeat in 2011. They went to the bend but not break defense, and somehow they only lost one game because the offense was just more powerful.
Taking it about the 1.
But I mean, you look at them boys, and they just had a huge hiccup last week when they lost to Denver. A non-common opponent, and just come into your house and boom, shellacking you. And the question is Mike McCarthy that guy? I mean, they rode with Jason Garrett for over a decade. Was it over? No, not over a decade. Almost, it felt like a decade. Because he actually was in the room. They fired Wade Phillips in 2010 after the Packers beat the living crap out of the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, I think it was. The Packers ended up getting 2 coaches fired that year in 2010. I think it was 2010. Yeah, it was 2010 because they got Brad Childress fired from the Vikings after they beat them, and then they got Wade Phillips fired, and then Jason Garrett took over the rest of the season for the Cowboys in 2010, and then was there till 2018, right? Because his contract expired, and his contract expired in 2019, right? Because Mike McCarthy's first year was last year. Yeah. And Garrett's contract just expired, and they just didn't renew it. And that's one of the few times a coach's contract expired, ran out, and not the coach not resigning or getting fired at the end of the season. And they just didn't re-sign him. So now look at that. Them boys are only down by 6 with 5 minutes left in the third. Or about 6 minutes left in the third.
Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10.
And this is, can Mike McCarthy get this team back to the Super Bowl for the first time in over 25 years? Last time Cowboys were in the Super Bowl was 95. That's 26 years ago.
We just did that. What are they going to take away now? What do we go to as a
And they've only won a handful of playoff games since, if that.
First down, Prescott. They'll set up the screen to Elliott.
And I mean, I just listed off division winners. Cowboys haven't won that many division titles since then, too.
Is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Elliott going to bite off about 7 on that one. A good run on first down.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks,
Oh man, whatever.
7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
No, can the Cowboys march down the field and take the lead again?
3 yards remain for second down. They go to Elliott again.
Slowly but surely, that's all they need to do.
4 yards the pickup, first down.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Oh, jeez.
They'll run on first down. It's Elliott, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here.
Oh, boy.
Prescott. He's got to
Oh, and just like that. Oh, he's short. He's short, so Kansas City's defense can still stop him.
We know play callers can be very creative in this game today, but sometimes when
That's the NFL COVID-19 protocols to intensify for the holidays. Well, I mean, that's not a big surprise because, I mean, look at what Aaron Rodgers just did as being unvaccinated by the NFL. Be unvaccinated, according to NFL, going to a Halloween party with unmasked and so on and so forth. I mean, rules are rules.
Big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal.
But, well, there you go, game side. But that's the thing with the rules. You have a set of rules, but the question is, how do you enforce them? Okay, with Thanksgiving approaching, COVID-19 cases rising again nationwide, the NFL on Tuesday night issued a memo to its teams detailing changes to the COVID protocol, including mandatory testing for all players and staff the Monday and Wednesday after the holiday, and mandatory mask wearing for all players and staff while inside club facilities from November 25th through December 1st. So that'll be a week long. And I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking. It's like, it's a very sticky situation, like I've said before. Since COVID-19 has been taken a big deal, seriousness and so forth, and we have to treat it like a big deal. Like, you have to treat like it's a life or death situation. Even knowing it's not, it depends on each individual it affects and could cause death, but we have to treat it like, you know, you catch it, you're a goner, or you can get other people, spread it to other people.
Now after the touchdown, it's
hey, the memo was obtained by ESPN. I'm reading this article from ESPN.
It's a pretty good return here. Up to the 29.
New requirement for surveillance cameras in teams' facilities for the purpose of enforcing COVID-19 protocol. The memo says the league has been periodically reviewing footage from surveillance cameras in clubs' facilities, ensuring protocols compliance. Discipline has been issued against individuals, players, and clubs as warned.
What I mean by that is, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's one of his best friends on the team, someone that can get in his ear, get with him and say, all right, my man, what do you need? What's going on here? So he's one
Let's see,
person
can't see, get this rolling.
Right
Effective November 29th, all NFL teams will be required to have video cameras installed in their weight rooms and cafeterias, including weight rooms that are outdoors or in a bubble, practice bubbles. Teams must retain video from their cameras for 30 days in the case of league requests, so on and so forth. So, I mean, wait, I totally get it. That if you don't want to get vaccinated, so on and so forth. Okay. But the whole not wearing masks, and let's be honest, wear it freaking properly, nose and mouth, because the same as just equality. I mean, what is it? You should be wearing what? I'm not going to get the whole detail of face shields because you got pores in your eyes, your tear glands, I suppose can get up there too, but now we're getting ticky-tacky. But if, is it that hard to follow requests? I mean, do I really want to wear a mask? No. But my job requires me to for now at the moment. Again. It is what it is. I just want, I'll do it, get it over with, and hopefully in the near future, not 3 years from now, we can finally get rid of it. We're not going to totally eradicate it. If anything, it might just turn into the next flu thing. Just like the Spanish flu, which is the influenza. But it's like, is this really worth getting a fine for? Is this really worth missing games for? Causing your team? You gotta be a team player, so you gotta make those sacrifices. Okay? There we go, 3rd and 4.
Mahomes gonna throw. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40.
Oh, let's see what else this says. The memo seems especially concerned about Thanksgiving. It says NFL teams are strongly encouraged to offer drive-through testing for friends and family of the staff. Come on, let me skip some of this stuff. All Tier 1, Tier 2 individuals, regardless of vaccination status, will be mass test Monday, November 29th, Wednesday, under current protocol. Under the current protocol, unvaccinated players must be tested every day and wait for their test results to come back negative before they are allowed to enter the building, while vaccinated players and staff are tested once a week and do not have to wait for their results before entering.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
That
Throwing now is
I get because did he get his feet in bounds in time?
picked off by Anthony Brown.
We all know you could be vaccinated and still get contracted.
What a turnaround. They exited the lockers with a nice lead, and now all of this. What's happened?
So when you start to write your novel, you'll start out with, it was a tale of 2 halves, won't you?
Right, but I'm a bad writer.
No, that's a skit.
Because sometimes teams can go in with a lead and get too comfortable, and a couple of things go wrong.
For the week after Thanksgiving, vaccinated individuals will be tested on Monday and Wednesday, so they're going to get, because it's like,
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a
we want to
1st and 10
keep the league going. You want to do this? We're in these troubling times. Well, these are the measures we have to take to make sure we can still play. The memo also offers a reminder about how testing procedures are expected to be conducted and about the requirements for mask wearing for all members and team traveling parts and so on and so forth. Just a bunch of, no, I don't want to say BS, but you know what I mean.
And a big play resulted.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. From the shotgun,
probably have to take
5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle.
Come on, let's get past this. Or speed is up. I don't know, that might have been the last play of the quarter. I want to see how this drive goes, and then I probably have to take a little breather.
Run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Oh, snap off to Elliott.
It's Elliott, and he'll take this close to a 1st down at the Chiefs' 33. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Okay, so 3 quarters down, 1 quarter to go. Dallas is on the attack, trying to increase their lead.
They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1.
Oh, and Elliott just gets passed.
And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. 137 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to
okay, so no, you want to keep that because if Dallas gets a touchdown and makes the extra point, it'll be 31-23. So Kansas City would have to get a touchdown and 2-point conversion. I always and touchdown, them boys. See how the X-Sprint goes, and then I gotta go.
So an important drive for them there. They're not home.
And the Cowboys have just swung this momentum in their favor.
Yeah, but a 1-point game, and if you kick the extra point, make it an 8-point game. Only one score, but you're right. Momentum definitely
making a 9 point. And the kick is up and good. So I'll be right back.
Zerline connects on the extra point, and that will ensure that it will take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. And now here comes Kansas City. There's still plenty of time here in the fourth quarter. Just a one-possession game, down 8. They'll be looking for the touchdown and 2-point conversion. A field goal here on this drive does very little at this stage.
Oh. Okay, so all I missed was the kickoff, so not much. Mahomes, what are you doing, Mahomes? Woo! Man, that was a little neat. We'll get to, oh yeah, we already know who only has a bye weeks this week. We'll watch this drive, see if Kansas City can rebuttal, and then we'll get to predictions. So if there's only 2 teams with a bye, that means there should be 15 games this week. And man, I don't know what I hate worse, how they set up bye weeks or ties in the NFL, because they seem to be a horse apiece. And like there goes, oh my goodness, and because I mean it seems like the bye weeks are always crucial, because like last year Green Bay had an early bye week after week 4, I think it was week 5, I think they had a bye week last year, and so they had to run the table. They still finished 13-3. They got the number 1 seed. They got that bye. They didn't have to play a wild card weekend. They won wild card. They won the divisional round, went to championship game, and fell short. Well, on the flip side, Tampa Bay had a late bye week, which they keep emphasizing. They keep emphasizing, and it got that rest, got them reset, and boom, they went on that run, and didn't lose again. And they keep saying, well, look at the Rams. The Rams have a bye this week. They have time to refocus, get Von Miller, get Odell Beckham Jr., all on the same page, and the Rams could potentially win that division.
Williams.
Touchdown, the Kingdom, Chiefs Kingdom.
Darrell Williams, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Chiefs have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th. So part 1 of what they needed is done. They get in the end zone. You have to imagine we'll see a try for 2.
That's what the book says, but defensively, they can't hang their head.
Here we go. This is to tie the game.
If they make a play.
Mahomes will throw for it.
Throw to Kelsey.
But it's incomplete.
So no, 2-point difference is at the moment.
And a failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was
Now I gotta remember what was I just talking about. Bye weeks. So was it Denver? I think it was. Yeah, Denver and LA Rams have the bye this week. And they just keep saying how the Rams. And then like the big question is like who's the most, should have done this during my when I was doing standings, but I mean what else am I gonna do right now? Since I effed everything up. Anyways. Like who is the most complete team? Who's the most well-rounded team in the NFL right now? I mean, you have 3 teams at 8-2. Tennessee in the AFC, Green Bay, and Arizona in the NFC. And who out of those 3 teams are any of them going to make the Super Bowl? It's going to be a close call. The AFC, it's Tennessee's conference to lose at 8-2. You lost your workhorse, you lost your star in Derrick Henry, but you have to find ways to win. And they were saying how they just got past their stretch of tough teams, and now they're playing the back end of their schedule. You either have 8 games or 7 games left. And like Green Bay, I'm just using an example because obviously they're my team. I follow them and so on and so forth. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers wasn't stupid and contracted COVID, because he could have known better. There's no reason why they Packers couldn't beat the Chiefs with him, and now Green Bay's defense is playing, and they should have. I know that's not gonna be a cakewalk. They should beat Minnesota this weekend. They're gonna have a tough game against the Rams on the 28th, unless depending on which Rams show up. I mean, Matthew Stafford comes back to Lambeau Field, and we know how the Packers can handle Matthew Stafford, relatively speaking. But then they have their bye week, and they have 5 games left. 2 against the AFC North, and 3 against the division. They come back Sunday night on the 12th. Then the 19th, they host Baltimore, right? Yes. Or did they host Baltimore 4 years ago? I'm trying to think. 8 years. 8 years ago was 2013, right? Then they're at Baltimore. They host Cleveland on Christmas Day, and then Sunday night Minnesota on the first week of January, and then at Detroit. And depending on how Baltimore and Cleveland are, the 3 divisional games, you would think how the Packers are playing, they would beat them. But who knows? Anywho, that's why I picked the Packers to go 15-2. Okay. Anyways, let's get to my picks of the week. And last week I felt like I had a bounce back. But in the end, I went 7-6. There was just those stretch games late that did not go my way. But I was happy of the results. Just not my result. So I am currently 90 and 59 with a 60% accuracy, which is, in my opinion, not good. I would rather have an 80% accuracy, but it's just, I'm going off gut feeling, and this is not with the spread, nothing like that. You know, over, under. So,
to throw is Prescott. That one complete to Elliott. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
So, these are the games. So, Thursday Night Football, we have a rematch of Super Bowl 51 with New England at Atlanta. Sunday night action, the early games, we have Indianapolis at Buffalo, Baltimore at Chicago, Detroit at Cleveland, Houston at Tennessee, Green Bay at Minnesota, Miami at New York Jets, New Orleans at Philadelphia, Washington at Carolina, and San Francisco at Jacksonville to round up the noon games. The late games, we have Cincinnati at Las Vegas, Dallas at Kansas City, as you're watching right now. Arizona at Seattle. And then Sunday Night Football on Versailles. You got Pittsburgh at the LA Chargers. And then Monday Night Football, you have New York Giants at Tampa Bay.
The Cowboys on third down. They're at 50%.
Good slate of games.
It's 3rd and 1.
Let's see.
Looking to throw.
Whoa! One-handed.
Dak Prescott now 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the
Let's see
Cowboys
if we get a good replay of that.
So a heck of a drive right there with the game potentially hanging in the balance.
A very good drive, and now
Oops, I might have skipped it.
to make it a 2-score
Didn't mean
game.
to. Oh well.
Solid
We
lead.
gotta speed this game up anyways.
And the extra point.
Those 5 seconds does make a huge
And that
difference.
makes it a 9-point.
Anywho, we start with Thursday Night Football, New England at Atlanta. New England is starting to get things rolling. And we all know what happened in Super Bowl 51 when the Falcons were winning 28-3 and they gave up the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. And we'll leave it at that. Atlanta's not playing too shabby. Yes, they got beat up by them boys this past weekend. In the short week, they're the home team, but unfortunately, I gotta go with New England with the veteran head coach. Okay, Sunday's action. Indianapolis at Buffalo. This one, how Buffalo's been playing the last few weeks, I'm kind of leaning towards Indianapolis. Just because of Jonathan Taylor, not because of Carson Wentz. And I would not be surprised if there's an upset. But if Buffalo wants to show their dominance and show why they are going, if they want to make that next leap and be the team to beat in the AFC, they need to win this game, especially at home. So I'm going with Buffalo just because they're the home team, but I would not be surprised one bit if they get side sweep by Indianapolis, because I feel like Indianapolis is much better than what their record says, but not by much. And you know, as a Wisconsin Badger fan, I am so proud of Jonathan Taylor. I was hoping Melvin Gordon was going to be that running back. Wisconsin, the University of Wisconsin has had great college running backs, going from Ron Dane to Monte Ball to Melvin Gordon to Jonathan Taylor, John Clay, everyone else in between, but they've never been able to make that next leap to the NFL. I really was hoping Melvin Gordon was going to be that, but he didn't really pan out in San Diego with the Chargers. Did he play anywhere in LA? Maybe. And right now he's with Denver. I mean, James White has had a decent career. I mean, he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion because he's with the Patriots, but he's been a little banged up and so forth. But he wasn't really that workhorse.
5 out of 9 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
And now Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's just boom.
Here's Mahomes to throw. A hit as he throws.
But anyways, let's move on to Baltimore at Chicago.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game.
This is another tricky one. On paper, you gotta go with Baltimore.
Fortunate just to get rid of it.
Baltimore is the better team, better coach, better quarterback, everything. But we saw what happened last Thursday night in Miami, and they just rattle everything. Chicago has a good defense. They're usually a good defensive team. And anything can happen. It's at Chicago, so they have the home field advantage. Can Justin Fields turn things around for them Bears? The Bears, not them. There's only one them team, and them boys. Chicago's the Bears. They've had 10 days off to reflect on how to turn things around, and you get Lamar Jackson out of the pocket, start running the ball. So I'm playing it safe. I'm going with Baltimore. I think they can pull the win. They could keep them the Bears intact. So yeah, I'm going with Baltimore on that one. Detroit at Cleveland. This is a coin flip as well. But I mean, I don't know. Detroit, yeah, they're 0-8-1. They were able to play a tight game at Pittsburgh last week, but there's been a handful of games they should have, could have, would have won, but haven't. And then there's other games where they just got their butts handed to them. And Cleveland should get the win here. Even if Baker Mayfield isn't at 100%, their defense should rattle Detroit. So I'm going with Cleveland.
And they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
Prescott looks to throw on first. Open man, right side, it's Lamb.
So yeah, I'll go with Cleveland over Detroit. Now we'll do this. This will be should rename my lock of the week to eat my hat of the week if they lose. Oh, and last week my lock of the week was Arizona over Carolina, and I got that wrong. I got my upset right. Denver over, or no, Philly over Denver.
From the red zone now, Prescott. Over the middle, complete. That's
but we move on. This will be my lock of the week. Houston at Tennessee. Give me the Titans. Give me Tennessee just bulldozing through Houston. Houston hasn't won since week 1, and give me the Titans. Green Bay at Minnesota. I'll give you one guess who I'm going to pick, and it ain't the purple and gold. That's right. Yet again, I will pick the Green Bay Packers to go into Minnesota and take care of business and stay undefeated in their division, and to improve to 9-2 to set up a great matchup against the LA Rams in next week's game of the week. This is the game I should have simulated. Miami at the New York Jets. Just because Miami's 3-7. The Jets are 2-7. Someone doesn't have to win.
Now from the 9, here's
we already found that out last week.
The give
No, Elliott. Ooh. I'm going with Miami over the Jets, mainly because of how Miami played last week against Baltimore. They got the win last week against Baltimore. I know they're in New York, or New Jersey, taking on the Elements. It's Miami is a better team than the Jets, and even if Flacco is starting. And touchdown, them boys. And that might just be the dagger, some would say. We move on. New Orleans at Philadelphia. On the streets of Philadelphia.
No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Come on, let's get. Oh, they're going for two. Is that okay? I don't know how much sense that made. Because that would have been 46. Plus 16. I don't know. I don't know if that made sense going for two. But anyways, we got New Orleans at Philadelphia. And, okay, so far this year, Philly, their wins have come against animal teams. To my understanding, they beat Detroit, they beat Denver, they beat, what are they? They're 4-6? Who are the other two teams they played? They beat Atlanta and they beat Carolina? They played Carolina? I know they beat Atlanta, that was week 1. And yeah, they have to be playing the South. So yeah, Carolina sounds about right. And then their 6 losses have come against non-animal teams. And let's see, they lost to the Chiefs, they lost to the Cowboys, lost to the 49ers. And 3 other teams that just I can't think of right now, but that doesn't really matter. But since they're playing New Orleans, even though they're their home team, I'm going with New Orleans because if trends are our friends, you gotta go with who dat. But who dat is banged up, and who knows? And who did the Saints lose to last week? Because the Saints lost to Tennessee last week. But I'm going with who dat's going to beat those Eagles. So time's running out for Kansas City. A little over 3.5 minutes left in the game for them. But then we move on to Washington at Carolina. Mike Rivera taking on his old team, now being led by the former, now current Carolina Panther Cam Newton. That's right, he re-signed with the Panthers and he made an impact last week. Rushing touchdown, a throwing touchdown, and it's in Carolina. Washington got one of the upsets of the year, but yet they lost their key guy on defense, Chase Young, to a torn ACL. And Washington could pull up the upset. I don't have an upset of the week yet. But I ain't going with Washington here. I'm sticking with Carolina. I felt like Carolina was one of those better teams, but we're going Carolina. Okay, last new game, San Francisco at Jacksonville. San Francisco is actually on a roll. They're moving the ball. They're winning games. They're taking on Jacksonville. Jacksonville sucks. So give me San Francisco. Let's see. That's going to be the last play of before a 2-minute warning. Yeah, hurry up here. Cincinnati at Las Vegas. Man, I don't even know anymore. I might switch this up.
left to play in this football game here on
You know what? Yeah, I'm switching that up. Give me Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati. I'm changing my thoughts. Give me Cincinnati over Las Vegas. Cowboys.
So the Chiefs in
Dallas at Kansas City. As you see right now, Dallas is winning.
And let's see what they've come up with.
And if Dallas is just as good as Green Bay, I'm picking Dallas here. And can that be considered my upset? I mean, not sure. That'll be my upset of the week. Dallas over Kansas City. No, actually no. I got a different upset. That'll be my next game. We have Arizona at Seattle. Seattle's the home team. This is my official upset of the week. Because, I mean, Seattle is, what, 3-6 now? Arizona's 8-2. And they're home. Arizona is beat up and shattered, so forth. I think Seattle, they get home, they get a win, they take care of business, beat Arizona. So, yeah, I picked Dallas in this game. I'm picking Seattle over Arizona as my upset. Sunday Night Football. Pittsburgh at LA Chargers. Give me the Chargers. Pittsburgh, nah. They're washed up. They're not done. Don't stick a fork in them quite yet. Because Mike Tomlin finds a way to not have a losing record. So he can go 8-1. No losing record. And then Monday Night Football. Tampa Bay at home taking on the Giants. Give me the Tampa Bay. They right the ship. There you go. Okay, so we got a minute 28 left. They are down by 8. So I don't understand why Dallas go for 2 anyways.
And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt.
Because it would have been 45 to, now you gotta do math. 30, was it 39? Had been 39, yeah. Plus 16 would have been, yeah. So I don't know why they would have went for 2 anyways. So those are my picks for the week. And like I said, next week it's already set in stone. LA Rams at Green Bay is going to be my game of the week next week. Okay, so Dallas recovers the onside kick. Yeah, see now this game's going over 2 hours. Usually my game coordinator is usually about hour 45, hour 40 minutes. And those 5 seconds, we don't need to see this. Get out of here. Get out of here. Those 5 seconds make a difference. And I'm going to make sure I put the play clock to 15 seconds after they break the huddle. Time is money. I don't have time to waste. So Dallas needs to get a first down. Kansas City needs to use all 3 of their timeouts, and then the game will be over, something like that. Hand the ball off. Timeout. Come on, let's just skip these timeouts. We don't need these breaks. Come on. 204 yards rushing. I'm gonna get this up and run. And he's short of the first down. That's a good thing for Dallas. Key third down coming up. Because Dallas gets the first down. Kansas City uses their last timeout. A couple kneel downs, and that is the game. And up, there's the first down and more. Final timeout by Kansas City, and that will do it. According to Madden, Chiefs' 3-game win streak comes to an end, and Dallas improves to 8-2, while Kansas City falters back to 65 for 65 because they're 64 right now. 65. Victory formation.
The Cowboys on their way to victory as they take a knee.
So there you have it. Now we just have to sit here and wait. Twiddle our thumbs. There we go. At least the play clock went down really far. So, no, this is it. All they got to do is kneel it here, and that'll be the game.
Prescott, he goes down to a knee, and
oh, man. Upload is going to be a pain in my butt with this over 2-hour-long video. I guess, got to make up for last week, I guess. No technical difficulties this week. Everything ran smoothly. Dallas gets the win, 44-36. They don't even need to take a knee. There you have it. Bang, final. Gone. Andy Reid is upset because them boys have beat him once again. I mean, this would be one heck of a game if it's this high scoring. I mean, Kansas City looked like they were going to run away with it. Dallas made a comeback and then took the lead and didn't let go. Couple key takeaways, turnovers, and boom. There you have it. Yeah, 20 points in the fourth. I mean, by them boys. But there you have it. No, we're not gonna watch any highlights. Skip that. Let's get to the end. There you go. So there you have it. Cowboys get the win. Congratulations. We'll see if man can keep on getting that prediction right. Make it, 5 in a row if they get it so? But anyways, so thanks for watching. You can always like and subscribe if you want. And until next time, adios muchachos.